and then somebody climbed to the top of the ladder, and they took the chip. And of course, when you do indeed grab this thing, you become the #1 contender.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a $1,000 accessory allowance, it's time to make it your own. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
It was made very clear to us that that's got to be back to Jacob Priest, although nobody alluded to this. And at first it seemed like we weren't.
Challenge. It's all good.
fire won't help. Aloy. Look. Thanks again for helping us out. And good luck.
What's up, Mac?
Sneaking up on us with that political stuff.
I should read that contract when I get the chance.
Back.
Yes, sir. 2 episodes back to back. 4 hours.
Reel myself back up.
She's with us. Let her pass. Outlander, Chief Hekarro and Marshal Kotallo await you within.
The cool route should be starting soon. Once it's done, I'll be able to access the chamber below Hekarro's throne. And even the Colonel's already holding Poseidon. I better head back to base first and merge it with Gaia.
Outlander. The chief awaits you in the arena, past the throne.
This must lead to the arena. It's another part of the ruins. Turned into a fighting ring.
Look at them all. Aloy. It seems you've had to move mountains to bring the Sky Clan to heal. Literally.
Kotallo helped.
Yes. Tekote reprimanded for all the clan to see. You both served well. But now the cool route is at hand. Some have come to compete, others to bear witness. They know Regalla will come for me.
I'll do whatever it takes to hold up my end, as long as you remember yours. So what's the plan?
Kotallo.
There are only two viable ways to attack the arena. Through the throne room you just passed, and by the trail on the north end. We've set up barricades at both. But if Regalla means to assault the cool route with machines, she will have to attack by the trail.
You will join our defenders there. Hold the line, and I'll have my marshals. You will be free of my service and receive your reward. Make whatever preparations you must. Once the cool route begins, you must see it through.
Let's get this over with.
Good. You'll find Dekka at the north barricade with the rest of our defenders. Strike true as the 10. I'll see you when this is done. There's armor in that chest. Take it. It might prove useful.
We'll assist Marshal Kotallo with guarding the chamber. We all have our orders. We'll see the cool route through.
This is true. The challengers will soon enter the arena. Join Dekka at the north barricade.
Spirit of the Tenakth found in the stand again.
Got some shards riding on this.
This is a ceremony. Can begin.
It's your hand that made this happen, Outlander.
We honor the marshals who fell and those who fall.
People must fear Regalla's threat.
I hear one of the Sky Clan contestants has an injury.
It will take more than courage to prevail today.
Steel shall mix today.
False courage won't win today.
You're watching history, Outlander.
Already, the challengers worthy of the title will win the honors today.
Victory buys the
This
place
cool
in
road.
history.
Let Regalla face our new marshals.
The Outlander should be more careful. I would make it clear if I wish to talk.
It sounds like Regalla intends to lay siege. Hekarro must be strong.
There's the Outlander who saved the Cool Route. Victory by the place in legend.
Regala will come for the chief. Only question is when.
Not mere entertainment.
Your enemy is mine.
It's clear Hikaru isn't afraid of Regala, but perhaps he should...
Strength.
Be guided. This will be a real show of strength.
The Memorial Grove will not fall to Regala.
We must stand firm against Regala.
Battle's coming. You can feel it in the air.
There's Dakota. His thugs,
Show
of course.
respect. Look, comrades. Chief can't.
Guess Dakota fixed his ego before coming here.
Regala will kill the death tower, but we must hold. And look.
You know what's happening? Who wants to go get
What'd you play? You listening to clips of us?
It weren't down for CM though, because Mock was right on his shoulders. So he stood up with one foot, he stood up with his bad foot, he was able to hit it, he got the 1, 2, 3. This Chicago crowd just lost their minds. If you can believe it, this is not even the end of it. Because the lights went out instantly when we cut to the big screen, and that devil guy who had won the casino ladder match was there, and he took his mask off, although you couldn't see his face, and basically said, "Where? I'm the devil," when he put on a Burberry scarf. And you have to go and watch this, because I actually think people shouted so loud, better the end of it again. It got even bigger when his music played, and even though they were in Chicago, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman was returning to AEW to confront CM Punk, All Out ended with the Chicagoans going, MJF, MJF. I don't know where we are. I know what to do. Maybe I'll look over here. Maybe I'll look over here. I also forgot to tell you as well before we did cut to the big screen, there was a voicemail that played that was from Tony Khan, clearly talking to MJF, saying, "Look, you ran away, you're not coming back, I need you because I care about the fans, so I'm going to pay you a flub load of money, and you don't need to extend your contract." And I thought that was a wonderful placement because it ties in the whole narrative. This was so good though, it was so good, and now I'm literally counting the days till Wednesday, which I don't need to do because it's just Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 2 days, it takes all of 3 seconds, but screw it. I know we do it once, but I'm doing it twice. It doesn't just get enough, it gets a golden up. Which does bring us to the end of All Out. So time to give you all your time. Yes, I shall give you my thoughts when it comes to this CM Punk press conference situation. And that is that I have no idea what's going on. But I'm not there. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not going to speculate. Because quite clearly there's a lot of raw emotion here. Let's not forget these are individuals, they're human beings. They're going to be happy, they're going to be sad. Is it better this stuff doesn't roll over
Focus on the machines. Take them down. And Regala's forces become no different from our own.
Yes.
Watch each other's backs. Hold them back! Defend the Cool Route!
Everyone goes from come follow us on social media. Made a bunch of content. I don't want to see what went I've got merch clothes, I've got jeep
officially on the greens. No! Holy smokes! Probably heard her screaming. What the?
That's right! Come on! The best time of the year. It makes... Come in here, my friend. Give it up, there's Mr. Naked. Charlie. Hey, Charlie! My friend, you can get it up. That's the end of the show. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. Let's get over the country code. WWE. In the United Kingdom, coming up and down. I show you. Just did we enjoy it, did we not? You can do interesting things with your favorite and like it. We have one problem. No 180 degrees. It was the classic thing. It used to make all the time. Okay, let's get on with the show, my friends. First of all, I want to thank you for being here. You genuinely do make my day. You make my life. This show is so good. And all the people on the internet that say, I don't like those ones. I love them. It's so good. I will let you in on what happened. So, big show. The Smash Cat Bob, Thomas vs. Alfred Hadley, and Austin Theory. Okay. You can see he was over. It was just a fun opener. What I was really impressed with was the Smash Cat Bob super over. And the thing we like about Austin Theory, that boy got some beat. And I kind of thought to myself, where is Mad Cat Bob leaving the Mad Cat Bob on the screen? Has generic music. Your opinion's going to be so well done. So what I did really enjoy is that Mad Cat Bob, I think that's how his name, Austin Theory, it was instant. People hated him, and it finished with Crazy Montez Ford, Frog Splash on the chat table. It is going to get up. Anybody know? What's up the network, Peacock? We don't know. We have no idea because we were here. And if you watch that page you live, you watch on your phone for screen. That's the thing. So, our first victim was Damage Control, which obviously made it versus Oscar Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. And the greatest part about it is that Bayley was trying her damnedest. I love you too. But we have to go to dinner first. What? Do we need to do this like shall we just chill? I think it's just chill. So, my favourite thing I like about it is the Bayley was doing a damage to try and be a heel. It did not work. There you go. Because of this chart. This chart was constant. To the point that so, yes, this kept happening throughout the entire match, and Bayley played up to it brilliantly. We're just going to use it as the sun. We've never had backhand sound like this on Amsterdam. So we're going to go roll with it. Look at that, they got Simon's sign. There it is. I tell you.
Hold the Falcon! Go!
Don't let anybody. I'm sorry, my friend. You do not come to a WWE show. I'm kidding. Never, ever, to my brothers brethren, never let him tell you to go to the backstage. People bring sign. It's wonderful. So we're just going to say this. The coolest thing about it was a really long match. Not a bad one. The gaming time, it was really good. And the finish was absolutely perfect. And there was some shenanigans. And Bailey, in the rope line, he was right. Bailey, why did you do that? Because there is our championship feud going forward. It is getting up. I like this a lot. We then saw I don't know in the crowd. We'll get back to get an entrance. Oh my god. I wanted it so much. I imagine probably went, no thanks. I don't think he's going through that. We're also seeing him and he got the kind of reaction I've always wanted for Hard to get. He's rolling, right? This is not a good episode for Mind Attractions. This is a really bad episode of Mind Attractions. We then moved on. Sheamus versus If you are a massive nerd, what I think you should do is go through this match and count the actual moves they do to each other. I counted 3 because all they did was they fought, they kicked, they chopped, they threw each other in the face, they punched, they kicked, they chopped, they teased the beat of the baldry or whatever it's called. The baldry! They teased that thing. I made Valerie, that's the one. Eventually he hit him, everybody went crazy. This one's actually close. It's because, look, I don't believe he would have done this match with a pre-Triple H. WWE, I just don't. It was the least WWE thing you have seen, and because of that, it wasn't the key one for these matches. Because every single one felt different. You have to go and watch this. You enjoy 2 massive men beating the shit out of each other, and you do. I know you do. I can see it in your eyes. You have to check this out. It was fantastic, and my friends, here it is. We're gonna drop it. It doesn't just get the up. It gets the good. I love this. I was having a ball of a time. And it ends when, good for Walter, whatever you want to call it. It had massive lariat onto Sheamus. This was not worked. This was a real lariat hit to somebody else, and Sheamus just got the best reaction the entire time. This made me feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum, my friends. That's what it did. That's what it did. That's right. True story. I told him before, I tell him again. First time in Tum Tum, a named person messaged me and said, Simon, you cannot say Tum Tum. I went, I'm now going to do it twice as much. And here we stand. There's nothing wrong with your Tum Tum. But for Tum Tum, go to the doctor. Or your So, because I don't think you could have put anything on after this without the crowd going dead. And we had an argument on the debate and we think, talking about it. We had a debate, maybe Edge should have gone here, but I think Edge would have gone, I want to follow out. Screw that noise. So the ball fell in Shayna Baszler and Liv Morgan's court. Now, they had a good match. It was a good match. They did everything that they said they were going to do. They worked on the arms and went after the arms. Somebody told me that Shayna Baszler may have been injured for real. There is my man there. So maybe she's injured. And it kind of just, I think the ending was, it just ended. I think the Morgan just hit him with it. 1, 2, 3. But the thing here is I never believed Shayna Baszler was going to win. The build has been fine, but it's been kind of, not quick, but it's... Simon's Goldberg. Oh, Simon Goldberg, that makes more sense. I mean, Simon is Goldberg, could have been a thing. I am Goldberg. There we go, so, yeah. But I thought, sorry. Oh, there is a sign. There's a sign. Simon will be a grown-up at Clash at the Castle, Roman Reigns Miller. I'll be Roman Reigns Miller, why not? They can have enough. Give them enough. Give them up. Now, I'm going to give Liv Morgan Shayna Baszler. They had a decent match. As I said before, you do not prove me when I give ups and downs. Not on my live show. It's too easy, my friends. You're allowed to go and get a drink, that's fine. But I had fun. I enjoyed it, there's nothing wrong with it. It was just, hang on, what? I don't know, just drunken people shouting as always, but I think the reason the guy didn't come down was flop me sideways. We then had Judgment Day versus Edge and Rey Mysterio. Edge came out. Holy crap. It was legit. Everyone's been told the next person that comes out is going to give you all $20. And they're like, well, we use pounds here, damn it. So I cannot go to the point. We get medium spots, which makes absolute no sense, but it was phenomenal to the point that it's like, where's mine on this off? And they gave it to Edge. Now, we don't need to talk about this match. It's a really good tag team match. Edge is the worst 6-1 I've ever seen in my life. But, like, Edge, if you're watching this, I did want to watch. So what can I do? Got to the finish, and the interesting part, I think I got this right, a lot was going on. It's hard to make notes and focus on wrestling. Dominic, correct me if I'm wrong. He's the right. That's the worst that can happen. It's totally hard. He kills me.
Customer service at Econoline is #1 priority. We believe without our customers, we wouldn't be where we are today, so it is very important here at Econoline.
Trips, Finn Balor. We're going to get a 6-1 referee. We're going to get a spear. 1, 2, 3, big pop. But then Dominic, we're going to do this. Why did you cut the man in the first place? But he's young. He's 8 years old. That's how he's portrayed as a toddler. Kick legs in the balls, got a great reaction, and then clothesline is damn dead. Damn it, Mysterio, got clothesline, unbelievable. But I think it's fun. It's fun. For the reason I thought this was so damn good. It's the perfect place to do it. Everybody went absolutely crazy. And he had the best reaction. We got the way. We see the hill turn, son. Oh, Jenny. Ooh. And then Dominic's making expressions as he's even pretty good. I'm excited about this. He always comes to Judgment Day and laughing their asses off. So good. And it doesn't actually feel like he's going to join Judgment Day. So maybe they can hold this, but they can still try to indoctrinate. So it's getting enough. I enjoyed this. That's it. It could have been for the last 2 matches. I was very pumped this next one. With Seth Rollins versus the renewed Matthew Riddle. And I was like, I think they're going. It didn't go as crazy as I thought they were going to go. They were actually more reserved, but I think it worked given what's going to happen in the main event. It was kind of, I don't like saying it was slow to begin with, because it should have been slow. We were building, moving forward, accelerating. So when we got to those last 5 minutes, oh man, I was so invested. And the good thing about these last 2 matches, I didn't know I couldn't call Seth, I couldn't call Roman or Drew. That kept me on my own. When we got the near fall, after that pedigree, Riddle kicked out and with the finish line. Oh man, I bought it. I think everybody bought it. It was so damn good. But the interesting part is, and this is what I thought, Riddle gets back to the he gets curb stomped, and Seth Rollins, oh my days, getting curb stomped off the top. If that had gone wrong, that means there's no two ways about it. It's the one you do, but there was no shenanigans here. I mean, now, I didn't hear commentary, but I think they will probably tell the story that the lost his cool, try to use a chair, and that's what cost him. But as soon as Seth Rollins won that definitively, I was like, he's got to be the next opponent, right? He's carrying across the Drew McIntyre. Really good though, he's getting up. Which brought us on to the main event of the evening, as my voice is about to leave me. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns for the unified, very special, left, right, north, west, south, east title. They chanted this a lot. Still, the jump. But what more work, as we've already touched upon, is I honestly, they knew it, we knew it, everybody knew it, but something we and really, wrestling is all about moments. It was on the McIntyre's life. And what we did is we kept the sport and entertainment and the WWE match to the last contest, which made it 10 times more fun. We hadn't finished throughout the night, we stayed with the men, the bump, the bump, so, I'm not going to go through what I wrote down. The things that made me react the most were Austin Theory coming out to cash in his Money in the Bank. He got punched by Tyson Fury. Because I was so frantically making notes, I went, who was that? I thought it was somebody in the crowd. It was Tyson Fury. But this makes sense. But this protects Theory. He got knocked out by the World Heavyweight Champion. Of course he did. However, from here, oh my days, we got back in. We also had a bunch of spears, a bunch of Superman punches, a bunch of Claymore kicks. We got back in. We hit the Claymore kick, and you're like, that has got to be it. Everybody came up from it. Everybody went nuts. And then just as the referee was about to hit 3, who interfered, my friends? It was basically the third Uso brother, Sequoia Down from NXT. I thought it was so smart. Come here, WWE. Well done. Because you have now taken that man and you have made him, at least in this country, the #1 heel. He is a star straight away. And honestly, I did that thing where I took my hands out and rubbed it. Because I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Roman hits the spear, 1, 2, 3, and you can feel the heartbreak. And do you know why this is good? Because you should run the gambit when it comes to pro wrestling. You should feel happiness. You should feel sadness. Oh, you meant to prove that one. You should feel pissed off. No more. You don't understand the reactions here at all. You should run the gambit, and we did it. You can feel it. Oh, freedom! Why shouldn't we just break down a whole country into one catchphrase? Why shouldn't we do that? But seriously, it was awesome. 1, 2, 3, match is done. Interesting, Tyson Fury shook hands, and then after the same and then they sang a bunch of songs, as you would do, including, I know, right? I've never heard him do that before. Sorry. Which you can see live on our channel, because this was off air, so make sure you go check out that video now. I presume it's going to be called Watch the Difference after that's the class. But in terms of how main events go, if Roman Reigns is going to win, which he did, sad face, sad hands, this was the perfect way to do it. It builds the bloodline, they got an extra member, we've made a star, Drew McIntyre actually comes to watch us, a big babyface, he had the match won, so I'm giving round of applause. Cattle close to the main event. Sami Zayn's dead according to my good man Charlie. So rest in peace to Sami Zayn. We're very sorry to hear and break this news. Oh, that's the castle. And obviously, it gets it up. And you know what else gets it up? Every single one.
WrestleMania 3. Who had the best match at WrestleMania?
No, they didn't. No. Dumb shit. I'm trying to remember the card. That is the problem. So everybody says that Steamboat and Savage had the best match on the show. They did not. Who sold the most tickets? Oh, okay, Hogan. Oh, wow. Hogan and Andre. 93,000 people paid to see Hogan and Andre. 93,000 people, as great as Savage and Steamboat were, did not pay to see Savage and Steamboat. Therefore, who had the best match on the show? And the most important match. No, they had the best fucking match. Because if they hadn't had that match, there wouldn't be a business for you and I to continue to talk about. That's the truth. 93,000 people paid to see them. That makes it unequivocally the best match.
And you think because of the attention people paid to the Steamboat match and attributed that to be the best match?
I know, because Dave Meltzer, who is without a doubt the greatest worker ever in the history of the wrestling business. Dave Meltzer is the greatest. I'm not saying this in a negative fashion. Worker meaning connotation that he's a con man. To be able to put over a con, a fake, a lie, is that he has been able to make six-figure incomes off of business that most people can't even derive a living off of, and has been able to do it for years off of business he's never done. He's entitled to his opinion. Certainly, you pay your money to buy a ticket, you're certainly entitled to your opinion. But when you've never, ever, not taken a bump or done something physically, but you've never done it to where you now have to rely on what your actions do to be able to feed your family. How do you have the quantified you as an expert to the point to where people within the wrestling business now take his opinion as gospel, and if anything a newsworthy event or anything of note happens, we're not going to contact Bruno Sammartino or even lunatic Bill Apter or Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage or Rick Steamboat. And, Randy Savage's father did it for how many years? Savage has done it for how many years? His brother did it for how many years? You're not going to call them people. You're going to call Dave Meltzer. Well, that makes complete sense. You see, that's like you and I, okay? If you broke your leg right today, would you go to the doctor, tell the doctor how to fix your leg?
Tell him that?
Yeah, why not? You're not a fucking doctor. You've never went to medical school, and on top of that, you've never done any residency training. Why do they make doctors do residency training? Oh, a little thing called experience, so that way they can actually understand what it is that they learn. Fascinating concept, I know. But you can go on WebMD, you can buy a ton of anatomy books, you can read the New England Journal of Medical Science, and you can understand medicine. You've never practiced it. But then entitle you to now tell a doctor how to do his job.
But does that preclude Dave Meltzer or anybody, any viewer from having an opinion on the product?
Not at all. They are more than welcome to have their opinion. They're entitled to it. Absolutely. Absolutely, totally entitled to it. Completely. Does that make them have an understanding and a grasp of it more than a person who has had the actual experience of doing it? Certainly not. But unfortunately now, people with it, because we're wrestlers, we are all such needy cunts that we need that pat on the back so desperately that we'll look for appreciation and approval from anybody, that we'll take it from somebody who's never done it, that doesn't have any grasp and understanding of it. And as a result, we'll say that Savage and Steamboat had the best match on the show.
as opposed to understanding the real understanding of wrestling, which is to derive money so that we can continue to do it, which would be Hogan and Andre.
I also think, too, that when you're talking about, Brett and having this issue with Vince, I think now Vince has so much more power now. Like, you would never have the Clique, going off and doing their own thing. You'd never have any debate over the title. Maybe Brock might have an issue, but at the end of the day, he's going to do what Vince says. Right. Back then, 20 years ago, it was still, like I said, one foot in the old, one foot in the new, where the guys had the power to do stuff like this. Now it'd be like, Chris, just do it. With Vince, I don't think it's like, just do it. All right, I'll do it. You know what I mean? That's kind of different now.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing of, like, you going in there, like you're top guy and everything. You going in there and they say, like, we want you to put over so-and-so, and you go in like, I don't think so. I don't think you say whatever excuse you have. I don't think he deserves it. I don't think it's the right time. Whatever. I mean, he may listen to your viewpoint, but it's not like at the end of the day, like when you say that to him, you're getting your way.
Well, yeah, exactly. You do what you're told to do, and that's kind of how it is. But you mentioned there was a lot of creative control. And let's go back to, like, I'm not sure if it's 95 or 96. What kind of led to the circumstances for Brett to even have to or want to or be forced to leave the WWE to go to WCW in the first place?
Well, are you talking about the original negotiations or the second?
I guess just where does the story begin that kind of led to this Montreal screw job?
I think that you would probably go to 96 WrestleMania. It's Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels wins the title.
That's the hour-long drawing?
In the 61-minute match.
Iron Man match, yeah.
Right, the Iron Man match in Anaheim.
Right.
So Bret's contract expires very shortly after the match, and he's taken off to do Lonesome Dove, which was a TV series at the time, and he was going to do some acting. And he kind of teased that he would retire, but, I mean, deep down he wasn't going to retire. But, he was going to take several months off, come back, and in the next year's WrestleMania, the rematch, they did a finish to, the way they did the finish was to build a rematch for the next WrestleMania. Right. So that was the plan at that time. And while he's off, his contract really has expired, and WCW gets wind of that, and, this was the height of the wrestling war, and Bret was one of the most valuable guys in the business, and he was probably Vince's most valuable guy at that time. So he's going, let's age it, we can do them, and they really went strong offer to him. They made an offer of $2.8 million a year, which, 1996. I mean, even now that's just money, but in 1996 it was unheard of money unless you were a hobo. Right. So, it was like this great offer, and Vince, of course, got wind of it. And Bret really didn't want to go, but it was an awful lot of money to turn down at the same time. So it ends up where, Vince gets wind of it, of course. He tells Vince or whoever it is. It turns into a bidding, which some people at the time I remember thinking, like, oh, that's so bad doing this bidding war. I always thought, you're an athlete, you've got a short career, you know what I mean? Well, get the number as high as you can. That's your job, right?
It's like a hockey player would do, or football, or anybody.
Right. So, but there's something like fans have like the idea that there should be loyalty to brands, and to a degree, Bret did have that. But Vince ended up really scared. He'd lost Hall, he'd lost Nash, Hogan was on fire. WCW was winning the war at the time, and Bret was a real key guy. He didn't want to lose Bret, so he tried to make an offer. He couldn't go as high as WCW at the time, but he made he offered him a 20-year contract. So in a sense, it was probably more money in the long run for Bret, guaranteed over the 20 years than the 3 years of the WCW, but far less a year. It was $1.5 million a year as opposed to $2.8. Bret took it, whether he should have or shouldn't have. I mean, he took a lot less money short term to stay with WWF because I think he didn't have confidence that WCW was, even though they were winning at the time, that they would be in there for the long run.
I always felt that he felt a real sense of loyalty to Vince as well.
Yeah, well, Vince made him a star. Right. Picked him. I mean, there is that sense of loyalty, sure. There's a lot of reasons. I think he was comfortable there. He already established himself there rather than going in a new world. Right. He knew he'd be a top guy in WWF. I mean, with that money, he would have been a top guy in WCW. But as we also saw, he did get that money down the line, and they, when you look at how they used him, I mean, it's still mind-boggling. So, but anyway, he stayed. So he signed a 20-year contract. Well, over the next
2007, WWF business is starting to falter. They're losing a lot of money. They were losing money at the time. And Vince had to take out some loans to keep going. I mean, that's how bad it was. So,
like big loans from like banks and stuff?
Yeah, really. They took out some loans. Oh, wow. I mean, there was the day where they repossessed the water coolers. That's how bad it got.
I never heard that story before.
Yeah. And, and a lot of the upper management got cut. That's why, like, J.J. Dillon left, because I think they cut his pay like 40%. Wow. That's why he went to WCW. And things were tight. And Brett was guaranteed $1.5 million a year, which in those days, for what they were taking in, that was a lot of money. And Vince went to Brett and asked if he could restructure the deal. And Brett, having turned down $2.8 million, now they're asking to restructure this 20-year contract. He said no. And so I think at that point, that's probably where, among other things, probably where tensions got. And there was a lot of things going down. Now, what ended up is Vince went to him and kind of suggested, well, I don't know if we can afford your deal. So if you want, why don't you open up
I have no idea yet, bro. Probably
and go.
3 quarters away.
Unbelievable considering they were in the middle of the wrestling war. But the banks, I think, wanted Vince to cut back on, the monthly expenses, and he just felt that Brett money, he had to cut back on it. Yeah. So that kind of led to where this went. Now, the funny thing is this is probably around the summer. By September, Vince did one thing. It sounds so simple in hindsight. But what it was the pay-per-views. I think they were doing these in-your-house pay-per-views, and I think the price might have been $19.99 at the time. Right, 15 or 19. I think it was not. I think it started 15 and ended up 19. And then he would have the big four, which would be at 29. Mm-hmm. So what Vince did was, and Eric had already done this. Eric had already done 12 pay-per-views a year at the 29 number, which Vince thought was ridiculous when it happened. I remember he even told me, it was like, you can't promote a big show at that level every single month and have people buy it on pay-per-view. You can only do it 4 times a year. So we do the low-price pay-per-view as like a mini thing. We don't expect a lot of buys. It's just a small thing. Well, Eric went and just said, we're going to do 12 a year. And Eric was successful with 12 a year at the regular price. So Vince followed Eric's thing, and by the added price of the pay-per-views, it made a difference between losing money and making money. Wow, right. It was that simple. So by September, WWE is back.
Huh? All right.
The black. They're doing okay. They're not knocking it dead, but they're doing okay. And, he pretty much, at this point, now he can afford Brett's money, but now there's already tension, and Brett's already opened up talks with Eric, and now it got weird. And I think that certain things happened, and Brett was unhappy with the direction of the company. I think he thought, hey, I turned down this ridiculous money offer, and then look at what Vince did to me. It's supposed to be a 20-year deal in the first year. And now
you're going to make it now? Yeah, make it now.
Right. So at this point, they're talking back and forth, and I think that looking back with hindsight, I think that tension probably had them kind of, not trusting each other or whatever it was, and which led to things. Because I think if you kind of look at it, if neither of them had that negativity, I think Brett probably would have wanted to stay. He would have been able to keep the money. I think Vince didn't really want him to leave now that he's making money again, especially at that time. But, there was just so much going on that...
I think when you have one guy asking you to restructure your deal, that's going to piss Brett off, and then Brett saying no is going to piss Vince off, and that's probably kind of where all the feelings of unrest started. And then throw in the fact that Shawn is on the rise, and Shawn and Brett don't like each other. Right. That didn't help either.
That didn't help, and also the reality is that Austin was about, the handwriting was on the wall. Austin was about to surpass both of them.
Wow.
And Austin was clearly going to be the guy. I think Vince recognized that, and he was paying Brett as the guy. There was also the thought of, I remember one of the guys in WWE told me this, WWF told me this at the time, where Brett's making, let's say Brett's making $1.5 million a year, and Shawn's making $750, and Undertaker's making $750, which I think were pretty close to what the numbers were then. And Austin was probably making less at the time, or maybe the same. And it's like, now, Brett's not so far ahead of these guys to where they're not going to look and go like, how come he's making this much? And so Vince kind of doesn't want this salary structure to all of a sudden get to this level where Sean especially, Sean's not going to be very happy making less money than Bret Hart. There was that weird rivalry that those two had over who was the best and who was, Vince's favorite, which was going on at the time. And Undertaker is Undertaker. And, if Austin takes off, obviously Austin made multiples of that, not that many years later, but it was different. The business was so different from 1997 to 1998 anyway. The whole business took off in 98 to a level that nobody could have perceived. But at the time, Vince is thinking like, oh my God, all these top guys are going to want $1.5 million because Bret's making $1.5 million. And I think that played into it. It's like, if I get rid of that, now the top number is, let's say, $750 or $1 million. It's not so bad.
Right, the famous number to this day, the magic number.
Right, the million.
Yeah, exactly. So does Bret then call Bischoff and say, hey, can we talk about that deal again, or how did that work?
Yeah, I think, that's pretty much what happened. Vince encouraged him to do it, which was funny, when the whole story was explained to me, the one thing that shocked the hell out of me, because I knew they were talking, that wasn't a secret that Vince and Eric were talking and all this was going down. But the one that I never knew until, Bret actually told me first, but the WWE, pretty much did as well with it. It was Vince who told Bret to, why don't you call up Eric and see if you can get that deal again, because they were just, so then, even in the...
There. That console. Come on, Aether. Time to go home.
But like those of the 10.
I will later.
Even in the last week, though, it's like they're going back and forth, and Bret's this is like the last week of October. Survivor Series is the first week of November. So even in October, we're at crunch time, and, it's like Vince and Bret are still talking regularly, and Vince is saying he wants to keep them. So Bret's going what's the creative? And the creative at this point is essentially to get everything to Austin, not for Bret to be the top guy.
Right.
And, he was going through, you can do this and this and this and this, but at the end, it's he's going to go to Austin, which I don't think Bret had any animosity at all towards Austin. But it wasn't like he was that confident. I don't know. It was Vince wasn't wooing him or pitching him as hard as maybe he expected, and then he's got this new deal, which was $2.5 million. It's $2.5 million 3-year deal. He's not getting along with Vince that well at this point. So
is that 2.5 a year, Dave?
Yeah, 2.5.
Wow, holy smokes! Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The original was 2.8 a year.
Right.
It was 8.4 for 3, which was the '96 deal. So the new deal was actually slightly less, but it's still ridiculous money.
Oh yeah, 10% less, big deal.
Right. More money than he ever would have. Let's face it. If you look at the 1997 era, and let's say you're Bret Hart 1995, 1996 even, do you ever really believe you're going to make $2.5 million a year?
Right, yeah.
Wrestler?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's this deal that he never thought he could get, and he's going back and forth, but in the end, he decided to take the deal. So this is, I think it's Halloween night, or it's either October 30th or 31st, and he accepts the deal. And Hall and Nash were calling up and, trying to woo him, everyone's trying to like that. And I think a lot of that Bret Hart's moving over, like this is going to be the catalyst of, where they really take over from WWF, and WWF really going to be in trouble with Bret. And the funny thing is, and I thought that too, I thought like this is a blow that they could afford, and as it turned out, it was not that losing Bret was part of it, but obviously, everything turned around the next year and in a completely different way than we would have imagined that week.
Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac! Daddy sure does love his little big man.
She's been focus. She's been watching a lot. I think it helps calm her.
I used to watch this a lot too. I know when to take my mind off. But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture Festus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But we started talking about some other stuff. Just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the teams might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her.
We'll give it to you.
She's proving her.
Go on.
On the way to Earth, the Zeniths never showed their faces. My servitor caretaker referred to them as my...
Tyler Cameron, that was a very sickening situation. Well, how'd you guys meet? We met through friends like at party.
And then, one day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me. In a virtual replica of a house on a cliff overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times. But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was a liaison between Flow Zenith and Zero Dawn. She knew Elizabeth Sobek, that's for sure.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
What else can you tell us about Tilda? She liked to talk about her paintings. What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth? How she joined the Zeniths? Something like that? She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think, back on Earth, she was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the other Zeniths couldn't detect. Is there anything else about her that we might be able to use to our advantage? She was the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses. So Tilda set up a secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't, okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is.
When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them. Okay. Let's leave it at that then. I'm trying, Apollo. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry, she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Ross's name. You never talk about him, but he raised you, trained you. You must miss him a lot.
Of course I do. But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with her. Gaia says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. Maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with the Festus.
Sure.
Alright.
But I won't hold my breath.
Yo, bro, is that good? I'd like to see you finish that.
Who are you talking to? Show my...
Oh, son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch.
Yeah, totally. And then and I guess, was it something that Brett had for years, the creative control? Or was
No. He had, but when he negotiated his contract in 96, one of the things that he got put in, when they were negotiating back and forth, was creative control. But it was not creative control. It was like creative control at the end of the career, because he was afraid of being buried at the end. Because a lot of guys want to get buried, so he wanted at the end. He had creative control at the end of his career. Well, this, the end of the contract. Well, that meant he essentially had creative control during this period on the way out. So he didn't have it like Hogan had it completely, right? Brett had it only for a term.
Which is so amazing that even just that, like creative control, you would never get that nowadays from Vince. Ever.
Yeah. I mean, but Hogan would still take it even if it's not written down, and some of the top guys would. Hogan probably would have been the last guy. Because I remember, like, Hogan, when Hogan was coming in the 2000s, when you worked with him, and that period, I remember that there was that thing where Hogan was rock. And I don't know if it was actual or not, but, Hogan brought that. And those was actually said that Hogan brought he gets back to the rock title. This is when Vince was really on the rock bandwagon. And was especially Hulk Hogan was rock. That's when they had really falling out, and Hogan had walked out and wouldn't come back because he wasn't going to get the title from Brock. So there was, but I don't know if that was like his contract or anything. Hogan was probably the last guy that I can think of. So he must have, I know he did. Hogan had, because when Hogan was with Randy Orton, Hogan definitely had control over who would win that match, because I remember, Hogan had the bad feet, and he was probably going to work the match with Randy Orton, and then he was going to be off for a long time, and Randy was on the rise. And I remember thinking that, for Hogan, it would actually be better for him to lose to Randy, because he would get sympathy.
Aloy, here.
Randy anyway, and you could do a rematch.
This vision is about the glow.
Whatever.
And this one is just appearing. Is this your doing?
Visions have changed.
That's the one that inspired Chief Hikaro.
More tests testimony of the old ones.
Hear now the words that reunited a people. Following the tragic events of the war, Anne Faraday, the chief architect of the reconciliation effort, addressed a nation in need of hope.
If we look into the future, the lens of the recent past, our fears loom. Wars waged against machines, scarcity of food and water, storms that drive us from our homes. But true courage means facing those fears with conviction instead of cynicism. Leading the peacekeeping effort with these brave men and women, these marshals of the new Southwest, has strengthened my conviction that when we are united, we can overcome any threat. Join me. Join us in that conviction as we strive for a nation and a world without want or war.
Big deal, right? You know, Brady could afford to lose to Hogan once, but Hogan refused to lose, and also with Sean, you know, when they wanted to do that program where you know, Sean obviously wanted to beat Hogan, and Hogan just flat out said no. And so Hogan definitely had creative control when he was with Vince, even after all this.
It's interesting to me too, because when you're talking about so when does Vince know that Bret is definitely going to WCW, and why doesn't he take the title off?
Coming with you.
Carl needs you.
Because of you, he has new marshals. And a rallying cry clans cannot ignore. So I will stand with you on your mission. Give whatever is left of my life. It is what I choose.
How can I say no to that? Carl, there's someone who wants to join us. I need you to meet him in the foothills and guide him the rest of the way.
On it.
Go to the mountains, west of Plainsong. A friend of mine will meet you on the ascent. I'll join you when I can.
A friend of yours should be interesting.
Let us hope the new marshals don't. I need to get Ether back to Gaia. Seems like capturing it did something to the other holograms too. Might be worth checking out.
Off him earlier than waiting like this last week. I mean, you would think if you didn't have a guy under contract and knew that, like if I was working there and I wasn't under contract, you know, or my deal was up in December 1st and I was the champion and I hadn't signed anything new by November 1st, I would lose the title. That's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't just take the title off him earlier. You know, because this whole thing was going down for you know, whatever,
months,
5 weeks.
A week, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, why he kept the title on him through all this? I mean, that's an unanswered question. I think it was